Hello my friends, and welcome to Inner Sphere Wars, the first in what I hope will be many videos shoutcasted to you guys from the Season 5 of the Inner Sphere Wars, what do you want to call it, game, community, system. So basically Inner Sphere Wars is a PvP community and system where you can basically play the metagame of Battletech. So in the tabletop Battletech, you have the whole metagame of, you know, maintenance and building mechs, and BV, which is battle value, which is like the value of individual units and all that kind of thing. So you can play that whole metagame as part of one of the great houses. And then obviously conflicts are decided in the game itself between players who represent one of the great houses, and it's dependent. Obviously, each faction has got its opportunities to make attacks as they wish. So in this case here, we have COD, who is the defender. There's no, unfortunately, there's no spectator mode, so I have to watch every battle from the perspective of somebody. So in this case, it's from the defender, and COD is representing the Lyrian Commonwealth. And the aggressor here is the Free Worlds League, who are represented by White with two eyes, but I'll just say White from now on because that makes things simple. And this is a reconnaissance for the up-and-coming attack on this planet. The Lyrian Commonwealth planet here is under attack. So these are two recon lances that have been deployed by each house based on their own assets, their own money, their own resources, basically. So they've deployed these lances, which have to be, I believe they have to be sort of roughly or exactly BV equivalent value. So it's balanced in that way. The mechs are stock, there's no customization, but each house is allowed to spend their BV as they wish. So the defender here, COD has deployed two Centurions, a Jenner, and I didn't see what the and a Blackjack. I have not watched this video before. I felt it was very important to not watch the video, so I don't know what's going to happen, and so I can give fair and impartial commentary as best I can. So we will just have to see what happens. I'll have to see what happens. I do not know what the aggressor, the Free Worlds League, have decided to deploy. So it could be anything, but it will be within expectations of what you see COG deploying. COD, not COG. COD. What you've seen he's deployed here. So it's probably going to be 2 or 3 mediums and a light. But you never know. Could be a heavy. And a couple of lights and a medium or whatever. The BV values have been adjusted by the Inner Sphere Wars team to sort of represent as best possible the value of various units in the game. So, you know, if you want to deploy something awful like a dragon or a quick draw, you probably can deploy that in place of a very good medium like a hunchback or a griffin or something along those lines. Okay, so it looks like COD here has decided that he wants to aggressively try and gain the high ground here. Probably a good move. I believe both players have some opportunity to obtain the high ground here. I mean, points of interest are always high ground because you're not going to have amazing pilots in multiplayer, so accuracy bonuses are quite nice. That said, water is also a great place to take because I haven't got a mouse pointer here to circle things, unfortunately. We're stuck with COD's mouse pointer, but the water is, which you can see on the screen here, is also a great position because a lot of stock mechs, they run super mega hot. So the water can represent quite a significant damage increase, potentially more than the accuracy bonus you'd get from shooting on high, especially in a desert biome like this. So that's could also be a key area to control. There's also these minerals around everywhere. They're kind of a double-edged sword because they ruin your accuracy as much as they ruin the enemies. But that said, from a high ground position, you've got the accuracy bonus from being on the high ground. You could potentially exploit them as a good defense. We'll see both players are reserving down to the assault phase here. You better get used to that because I think there will be a lot of that going on. So, this video has not got any music, but I have actually prepared the BattleTech music in the background. So, once the fight starts, I will play the music manually. I like the BattleTech music. I think it's very good. But no one's actually attacked anyone yet, so all is fine in the universe, as it were, until someone engages someone else. I'm not sure I like the attacker's position here, based on the fact that I can only see one unit, but I'm not sure how tactically advantageous it is to be down there. So, players are limited to 1 minute and 30 seconds. I have actually spoken with the Inner Sphere Wars team, hopefully about shortening the turn time down to 60 seconds, because I want the pressure to be on. And plus, there's less downtime between moves for you guys watching this. When I play, you know, people who watch me regularly will know, I try and keep my turn time down to 15 seconds. And I very rarely break the rule of 15-second turns. And when I do, I'm always apologizing profusely. It's always some really weird situation where I need just a little bit more time. But, you know, it's PvP. No one wants to lose. Everyone wants to take as much time as they possibly can to make the best move that they possibly can. It's a funny thing, really. I actually find that it's best to just go with your gut when it comes to moves. As in, if you think of a good move in the first 10 seconds, don't question yourself. Just go with what your brain came up with, and it tends to work out. I think when you overthink, perhaps sometimes you make some bad moves. Okay, so
what do you need?
It looks like White has decided to pull back. That is probably a good idea, because I'm not sure I like his chances aggressing up this hill. Probably pulling back to the pond. I think the pond is actually a really key piece of terrain in this fight. But yeah, I mean, depending on what White is fielding, which I don't know what he's fielding yet, but you know, these Centurions are pretty heat neutral, but the Blackjack and the Jenner here that COD are using are both stock designs that run super mega hot if you utilize all the weapons. The Blackjack particularly has got 4 medium lasers that its heat sinks cannot cache. And while the AC2s don't generate any heat, well, they generate just a tiny bit of heat. But that tiny bit of heat is enough to cause problems when you've got 4 medium lasers you can't cool. So, generally speaking, the Blackjack can fire its AC2s and 1 to 2 lasers in this biome. Whereas obviously down there in the pond, you could probably get away with firing all 4 continuously. So, more things to consider. I do like the high ground position though for the Blackjack. It is a very good sniper. And if you manage to run the AC2 banks empty, you've probably killed the enemy by that point. It may only be 25 damage a plink, but if you can plink at someone for turn after turn after turn, it really starts to become real damage at some point.
I'm there.
Okay, we got the Centurion engaging. So, the aggressors, the Free Worlds League, have deployed a Locust. That undoubtedly means that their other units are bigger, since I'm pretty sure the BV value of a Locust is pretty low. Now, the question is here, can the Centurions just shower it in missiles till it explodes, basically, and pick up a free kill here. Locusts have not got a lot of hit points. And, you know, LRMs don't do a ton of damage, but when you haven't got... When you've got about 240 hit points, you, you feel every volley. Especially LRM launchers, like, potentially 40 damage, so that's pretty significant to someone with 240 HP. It looks like the Locust is going to spot here, and maybe the aggressors, White, is going to alpha strike from the pond. That could potentially be a very good strategy if he gets a shot that supports it. Especially, we've got this Blackjack on the front line here. This could potentially be an issue because the Blackjack is very soft. It's extremely soft mech. And so if he does, say, if he has like a catapult or something, and he just starts volleying missiles at this Blackjack, could potentially start ripping the arms off of it after a turn or two. I mean, knowing all the pilots are going to be bad, so it's going to take many turns for any real damage to get done to anybody. Alright, I must resist the urge to move the mouse. I want to highlight things. So far, like, I'm pretty happy with the positioning here for both sides, in that it's spread out. It's usually the sign of a good player. Because when you... So just to give you an example, if you have a mech, right, and you have an enemy in front of you and an enemy behind you, right? How do you position yourself such that you aren't getting shot in a vulnerable spot? It's very difficult. Because, you know, you face forward one enemy, the other one's behind you, right? Seems obvious. And one thing that you could do is face sideways, which means that both enemies have got a shot on your side, which is not great either, but at least that spreads the damage over two sides. So, a lot of what I do, and what these guys are doing as well, is you see me move towards the enemy in a coherent ball, and then I'll split one unit off, or I'll spread my units out. And the idea is to create a bad choice for the enemy. So if they face the one unit that's peeled off, then they can't face the other units that are going the other way, and vice versa. So if you have a really good brawler, that's often the unit that you split off by itself, and then you split the rest of your lance off. And then if they face the rest of your lance, they're opening up their back to the brawler, which obviously is a bad time. And, you know, if they turn to face the brawler, then they're opening up their back to the rest of your lance, which will be, you know, other units, support units or whatever. So far it seems pretty good that they've, you know, maintaining a reasonable spread here. Okay, we got a Hunchback. I'm not sure how I feel about that mech in this situation. It runs cool, which is good for a desert. Very short range though. I get the feeling that you'd actually want to really aggressively push up the hill if you're going to be running a Hunchback.
Waiting for orders.
I like the defender's position more now that the Hunchback's been revealed. Heavy long-range units like PPC, Panthers, or as a light unit, or something like a Trebuchet or whatever, something that runs hot and has good long range, would be ideal to attack the hill from the pond, relying on the DPS that the pond will give you over the accuracy that the hill gives. But I almost feel like the Hunchback would be a better unit on the defender side here, being up on the hill and preventing an aggressive sort of ascent. But I still don't know what the other two enemy mechs are. So, okay, we got a 60 tonner, so that's going to be either a quick draw or a dragon. I don't think there was anything else in that weight category. In the base game, anyway. Alright, this is the laser blackjack. This is the mech that you would want to be down there. The AC2, I would presume that it was the AC2 one, and from up here that's ideal. But actually it's the large laser one, which would be ideal to be on the other side, much like the Hunchback. In the pond, that's a fantastic mech, because it runs somewhat hot, it's all energy, and you can just DPS from that pond all day long. So that's interesting. So not ideal deployment here for either side. So far, COD has managed to get the boot in a little bit. I wouldn't say any damage yet is significant, but it all adds up, so. Let's see what White decides to do. I think the high ground position is good here, but I still think the pond is actually also very powerful. But does White have the means to exploit it? That's my question.
What do you need?
A lot of sensor locking going on here. Yeah, this is a wise move. I'm not sure how I feel about that, mate. I'd go in the forest if I were you. You're still sensor locked, so you can still get LRM'd. Definitely the right move, in my opinion, to get the evasion tokens back up.
I've got a sensor lock.
Okay, counter lock on the Locust. That opens up the Locust to more LRM volleys from the Centurions. Which, I think they got like 1 can of ammo as stock, so not a huge amount of sustain, but if they remove the Locust, then that's great, because I think the Locust is the sensor lock pilot. So that actually will be quite impactful if that disappears.
They got a lock on me.
Okay, that's the Hunchback, I believe, isn't it? Sensor lock is actually quite useful in something like a Hunchback because it's all short range, so you want something to do when you're not in range.
Rolling.
Oh no, the LRM-10 has actually got 2 cans of ammo, so there's plenty of sustain there. Fire away. It may not seem like much damage, but a Locust hasn't got much health, so if there's nothing better to be doing, we're at least chipping away at the issue. This is another 20-tonner here.
They got a sensor lock on me.
So I guess the aggressor here, White, has decided to go with a pair of Locusts to save up money for this Hunchback and either Quick Draw or Dragon, I'm presuming, 60 tons. Or maybe... is a catapult 60 tons or 65? Then again, if it was a catapult, I figure it would have fired by now. This is this engagement is starting to go poorly for White here, in my opinion. Alright, it's a quick draw. Alright, that's a good hit. He's also got a massive amount of evasion tokens there.
What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm not sure how I feel about jumping the blackjack.
Roger that. Firing on target.
Oh, good hit though. The blackjack runs mega hot as it is in a desert biome.
Holding for the
Jumping as well. May find yourself unable to keep your DPS up here. I don't know. I'm not sure I feel like it's the right move for White here to be fighting up this hill. The pond is no longer a strategic asset in this situation because it's just in the wrong place. It could still potentially be if he had long-range energy mechs or like full LRM support boats or whatever, but he doesn't. He honestly has more of a brawly lance than I was expecting. I'm not sure if these guys reveal their lances to each other before the fight, so in fact they almost certainly don't, because they will have to have planned them in advance and get the Inner Wars team to approve them. So maybe White is going to be on the wrong end of the stick here, but we'll see.
Yep.
Still, he does have a lot of minerals to abuse where he is. All these mineral patches here offer him some pretty strong defense, which he can use to close in. There's still a lot of potential for that Hunchback and Quickdraw to get close and do some real and lasting harm, especially to the Centurions here. They're not fast enough to really avoid being brawled to death. Although they are quite good brawlers themselves, but they are also packing LRMs, which are not ideal for a brawl. Whereas obviously the Hunchback is a pure brawling machine, a very powerful one. Alright, this Quickdraw is really closing in now. Does he have a shot? I think he's got a shot there, and I think that's actually a pretty good shot. No, I guess he didn't have a shot. With stock mechs versus stock mechs, I think it's a lot of a game of chipping away at the enemy, so I would be more pressed to be firing all the time and trying to chip away than being as defensive as possible. Because it's hard to be defensive as possible, right? Because you have to make every mech equally defensive. If you have one mech that's exposed, that's the one that's going to get targeted.
I've got a sensor lock.
Like this Locust here is being sensor locked repeatedly. And then it's a case of just dropping LRMs on it constantly until it's gone. Also have to watch out here because the Fury bar is ticking up for both players, so they will get precision strikes soon as well. That can certainly be very powerful as well. Okay, the Hunchback's closing in. No jump jets, so it's waddling up.
Good to go.
It looks like the engagement between the Quickdraw and the Hunchback and the two Centurions is going to be kicking off very shortly. There's no real way for these Centurions to get away. They're too slow. So, of course, it's up to COD how he wishes to proceed, but I think I'd start getting aggressive here. Oh, is that a good hit? Looked like it.
That hit something good.
It would be nice to eliminate the Locust because it's one enemy gone. But at the end of the day, it does not represent much firepower. It may represent a sensor lock or two. But it doesn't represent much firepower on the attacking side here. It's this quick draw and this hunchback is all the eggs have been placed into these two baskets here. And my concern for the defender here would be that these two, especially the quick draw with its jump jets, manages to jump over one of these two mechs and put a precision strike into the back, killing one of them instantly. They will both have enough fury by now for a precision strike, so it's very difficult to stop a mech with jump jets from actually getting behind you. Especially if it sprints or jump jets into your face or after you. The hunchback is more limited here because obviously it's got to walk and it's not very fast. I'm starting to like White's position more now, but we'll see what happens. White has actually taken quite a bit of damage on one of his locusts, so... yeah, see, that's a good move. Just hide it behind the rock where it can't be hit. Then the Centurions would be forced to waste their moves just firing their LRMs and nothing else. And they can't afford to do that right now, with the quick draw and the hunchback bearing down on them. It would probably be a waste of a turn to try and carry on bombarding this Locust. Interesting that you would take your move now.
Engaging jump jets.
I don't know, if I'm White, I think I would want to reserve here. Alright, maybe I'd want to move that hunchback and then reserve. Run it forward into the trees just in front of the hunchback there. Run it forward and brace it. Let COD open up. And then get your revenge next. There we go, see? Perfect move, that's exactly what I would have done. Oh, he decided to engage actually rather than brace.
Reporting. Serious armor loss.
It's actually, that's a pretty good move as well, actually, to be fair.
Yes.
I was thinking about more using the hunchback as bait so that the quick draw could then come in and do its dark work, but... okay, he's angling.
Engaging target.
Okay, not great hits there. Didn't hit the weapons block, which is all that matters for the hunchback. The hunchback is in an ideal position to hide its weapons block and shield arm here. The real question is, what will the quick draw do? Ideally, what I would want to do with the quick draw is to jump towards these two. And if I can't get behind them, then to potentially brace for a turn. And then to just jump over them and shoot them in the back with my precision strike. Try and take one out. I would precision strike the one that has no damage, while carrying on to put frontal damage into the
They got a lock on me.
into the second one.
Waiting for orders. Heading out.
Okay. See, this is the shield arm.
I'll make them dead.
So, good hits, damage dealt, but really kind of irrelevant damage to the hunchback. That side has got like a medium laser in it and nothing else. All damage is good, but that damage does not, at this time, achieve anything, and it would take a long time for it to achieve anything, so... it's getting interesting now. I like White's moves here, and I think if he plays his cards right, he can get a surround on these two Centurions here and pull them apart Okay, I think he's trying to maneuver around here. Strange position. Oh, he's going for the Jenner.
Reporting internal damage.
Good to go.
Well, that definitely hurt the Jenner. However, I feel like he has exposed his back here. I'm gonna DFA him. Really? Not sure how I feel about that.
That's a critical hit. Whoa! Easy on the armor, buddy.
However, the quick draw does not have a huge amount of... The quick draw does not have a huge amount of armor. But you have to remember that he's got a precision strike, so weakening your leg like that... You know, the quick draw could potentially move back into the forest here and precision strike the blackjack's leg, and the leg is now so damaged that he could potentially bring the blackjack down by taking its leg off, and then the hunchback could finish the job by precision striking the downed target. And the blackjack's only got 1 evasion token right now, but we'll have to see what happens. Cod's next move should be to withdraw this blackjack, like immediately, somewhere else, and brace it. He can't allow that blackjack to take a side shot, because if it takes a side shot, that leg is probably coming off. Yeah, White has seen the opportunity. Unlucky for him that his
Boy, ow, ow, ow.
his AC-20
Waiting for orders.
did not hit. He very potentially got a kill there. Is he going to DFA again? Are you kidding me? Are you mad? Are you mad? Okay, it's a melee with a blackjack. Now I've seen it all. What's wrong with the lasers, man? He hasn't got any evasion tokens. You could full alpha him and get a bit more done. Well, this is turning into a beautiful mess, this game. If I was White, I think I would be very content with trying to focus fire down this blackjack and remove it from play. It feels badly exposed.
I'm here.
So far, I don't feel like any of White's mechs are in danger.
Order acknowledged.
The hunchback is getting a lot of focus here, but it's all on the shield side.
Affirmative.
Being knocked down, though, would be a big problem. Oh, it's a stock design, so the ammo is in the shield arm. Ah, that changes everything. So, the AC-20 ammo is misplaced in the stock design. I forgot about this, because it's the first thing that everyone fixes with the hunchback. So the ammo is actually in the wrong side of the mech. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure that in the tabletop the ammo is with the weapon. Ammo is generally with the weapons in tabletop. But anyway, the ammo is in the shield arm with the hunchback, so if he loses the shield arm, then he's going to lose all of his ammo.
Position confirmed.
And that's going to be very bad. Now that said,
Locking in all weapons.
well, that's fortunate for White that didn't hit. That said, the hunchback still does 80 damage in melee, so could just potentially just carry on fighting by meleeing.
Standing by.
If that Jenner gets that ammo, then that Hunchback is in a world of hurt. It's in big trouble. This Jenner is running too hot to achieve this.
I'm taking the shot.
He's going for it. He realizes how important it is.
Watch those heat levels.
Nah, he didn't actually get what he wanted there. He got a headshot. I don't feel like that's that helpful. What he didn't get was the ammo. So the Jenner is effectively out of the fight for a turn, unless COD really wants to redline it. What White needs to do is get his Hunchback off the floor and
I've been sensor locked.
and rotate it ASAP. He has a good opportunity to do this though. From that position, he could hide the damaged side against the cliff there, while being behind the Blackjack. Although I'm not sure he wants to be behind the Blackjack. I think the side is very vulnerable. Okay, the quick draw has moved a little bit here. Oh, that's nice.
I'm getting all shot up, Commander.
Although, once again, I'm not so sure about rear shots. It's the legs. I would have gone for the side shot. The legs are so vulnerable. You could be on the floor right now. So he did a lot of damage to the rear there, but I feel like those legs are they're begging for death. Ooh. COD is very lucky here that that laser shot did not go into his legs, because I think they've only got like 20 HP each. 7 and 20, yeah. He is in so much danger here. But White has not been able to capitalize on it. The previously damaged Locust is moving up. Okay, why not? Nothing better to do. If it had hit the leg, it would have been the best move of all time. Whatever he does with this Blackjack, he's got to accept the fact that any side shot will likely, from now on, any side shot will likely knock it over.
Got it.
Oh, I think he got it.
Critical hit.
Still, a lot of damage was wasted on the arm there before the side went.
Aye, aye.
That has reduced the Hunchback to a melee machine now. He's going for the kill here. I'm not sure.
Yes, Commander.
So, I mean, the Hunchback has just been focused and focused and focused here. Now it's lost its main weapon.
Firing a full
It's not that dangerous as long as you keep your distance from it, which is easy to do because it hasn't got much speed. Oh, the pilot's died.
target neutralized.
I'm here.
The 3 HP ran out. He must have clipped the head again.
Understood.
Well, he hit the head once, he blew off the side and he knocked it down, so that was 3. So he got another headshot, I presume, and
My heat
And
sink
finished the
can't
job.
take Much more of this.
I don't think the Hunchback could have survived much longer anyway. Well, it's looking bad for White, I must admit. You could potentially say it's all to play for still if the if the blackjack was dead, but it managed to survive. It managed to survive a number of hits that I didn't think it would be able to survive. Now this quick draw is running too hot.
You can see daylight through my armor.
Yeah, see, that's a frontal shot. So it didn't have the greatest potential to take either of those legs off. Now this has potential. Oh, but once again, all the shots have piled their way into the side.
Internal damage.
I feel like COD's gotten really lucky here. Really lucky. You know, once again, these medium lasers have not found their target in the legs. Oh, it did that time though.
Hey, knock it off. Ugh, dang it, that hurt.
Right, this is potentially a good kill here.
Holding for tactical advantage.
If he can get that leg, if he can get it, then that will be a very good kill. And sort of brings this match back into something that can go either way. Although I'm not 100% sure I liked White's deployment here. But I think he's going for it. I presume he's going for it. Yes! Okay. It's one apiece. This quick draw has taken serious damage though from heat.
Aye, aye.
If they were having a fight around the pond, it might have been a lot better for the quick draw.
Roger.
This Jenner will not take much more overheat either. The question is, does COD want to push all the buttons? No.
Got a lot.
I'm here.
Everyone is starting to cook now.
Move order.
Even the Centurions are running hot.
Taking the
Oh, nice hit.
scored a critical hit.
Alright, the Locust is in big trouble now.
Receiving you.
Not an important target though, really.
Aye, aye.
I mean, good to kill it and everything, but
Target acquired.
yeah, I mean, it's a good kill. It's good to get the kill. It doesn't really represent much firepower though. I feel like this quick draw is actually quite exposed here, and you could probably start peeling weapons off of it. But nevertheless, I mean, we're sort of reaching the point here now where I think COD is on a choose-your-own-adventure of win. Because of the way the Hunchback was taken down really pretty rapidly without it really doing very much.
I hate these guys. Standing by.
Interesting move with the Locust there.
Ugh.
Melee is a good idea against it because it's too fast to hit with weapons.
Commander.
At least not easily. That said, I mean, this Jenner is now facing the wrong way, so if the quick draw wants to dump a magazine into the back of it, it totally could.
Reading you.
I think meleeing this to death is probably a good move.
Ha!
Oof.
Reporting critical hit.
This is a situation I was hoping that White would create with the Hunchback and the quick draw, but it didn't quite work out that way. I do feel like he got a little bit unlucky as well with not getting the. He made many attempts on the legs of the blackjack and just didn't get it as quickly as I thought he would.
Mech destroyed.
Alright, so anyway, all is not lost for White, because I believe that the exact result of the battle sort of determines how much damage each house takes, so he has every incentive to carry on fighting here and at least try and take out another enemy. I think chances of victory have faded away here, but I could at least make an attempt on the life of the Jenner and remove that from
Enemy flanking.
from the inventory of the Lyrian Commonwealth,
Armor breach.
who are the defenders here.
Internal damage.
His quick draw is actually... He has actually cooked away half of his hit points.
I'm here.
Half of his internal structure is gone. Melted. Oh, it's a rear shot. I'm not sure about that though. This Jenner has been running very hot for a long time. And the quick draw is not the only mech in danger of cooking its internals here.
Engaging jump.
Yeah, he's gonna try and protect the Jenner.
Sensor.
This also reduces the damage taken by the Free Worlds League
Yes, Commander.
if he keeps it alive.
All weapons are go.
Okay, I think
Good to go.
we're waiting to we're waiting for COD to mop up the attackers here. It was certainly a well played game from him. Dominating the high ground, I think, really did a lot of work for him. If his opponent had brought more long range kit, especially like high heat stuff, I think he could have played a very good game from the pond and forced COD to come down and have to fight him. But that's not how it worked out, so... Wow, the quick draw took a headshot there. Ha! It would kind of suck if the quick draw got decapitated here. I'm not 100% on the rules of the Innisphere War just yet, but I don't know if there's any sort of additional salvage rights or whatever that come with ripping someone's head clean off. Maybe not, but that'd be kind of cool. You can still join the Innisphere War at the moment. Well, the season has started, but you can still sign up. Indeed, when I went to the Discord, there was some aggressive scouting going on, trying to get me to sign up with various houses, but I wanted to maintain my impartiality. But if you want to get involved in this, you certainly can do.
Aye, aye.
I guess White here is trying to cool off while closing in on the Jenner.
On my
I think he hungers for a 2-4 defeat rather than a 1-4 defeat. But I don't
I've
think
got a sensor lock.
that COD is going to allow him to pick that Jenner off. And the Jenner has done its internals such a disservice with overheating that it is just potentially one good alpha strike away from death. So
Location confirmed.
it's not unrealistic that the quick draw gets it if the opportunity is presented. So much sensor locking going on here. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel like it would have just been better to fire the LRMs. You still get one token, and you potentially do some damage. And that quick draw's internals are so badly hurt that any little bit of damage might result in some of that ammunition going up. You got full health, man. Get in there. Yeah, see, like a second round of that would probably have been quite good.
Holding for the right opportunity.
This was an interesting fight up until this point.
Right move.
Ready for orders.
Obviously, he's incentivized to fight to the end to try and get the Jenner. But I don't think he's going to get it. Oh, that's the missile rack opened up, I believe. Ooh, not quite, but nearly. See, it would have only taken one extra LRM hit to open up that side there.
Order acknowledged.
I think a lot of BV here was spent on a heavy that's perhaps not
Copy that.
really been worth its price.
Scored a critical hit.
Alright, he's in huge trouble now. The Jenner remains safely squirreled away where the quick draw cannot get it. So I think it's increasingly unrealistic that he scores this kill here. Oh, he's really trying for it though. You got to admire it. If he gets it, it'd be great for him. One good shot. It's all that Jenner will take. He's got plenty of weapons to pull it off. Ooh.
That was a nasty hit.
He pushed the heat sinks to the absolute limit there to try and get it. So close. Alright, Centurions need to mop up the quick draw now, if they are to save the Jenner.
I'm here.
Because it's kind of obvious really, but what the quick draw is going to do is just stand there and
Got a lock.
and fire at the Jenner. Interestingly, he's not used his Fury bar tool here.
Moving to position.
He's got full Fury. He could potentially use a precision strike here. Oh, there we go.
I'll make them.
I was wondering when you were going to do that.
Target's taking a critical hit.
Alright, quick draw's down.
Heat damage. Damn it.
And a lot of weapons went there.
Standing by.
Still potentially enough to kill this Jenner.
Confirmed.
Potentially. Have to be really lucky though. But I think he's done. Alright, he's down. GG. GG to all.
Mission successful.
The Lyrian Commonwealth successfully defends against the Free Worlds League aggression. However, there should potentially be 2 more fights here, which will determine what happens next. So I forgot about the music. Oops. Hopefully next time we will we'll have the in-game music as well. I'm still sort of getting these guys to produce the raw footage in such a way that I can put the commentary over it. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to see more of it, then please support it, please watch it, or I guess get it out there. A lot of the guys said that there'd probably be no interest in this whatsoever, so it's the perfect content for me. I hope it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I said, you know, let's try it. So here we are. This was the first battle in the Inner Sphere Wars. All the stuff that you need to know to join is in the description, and let's see what happens with the Free Worlds League's future 2 attacks here. So they had this was the recon with recon level lance, and then there will be a moderate level lance, and then there will be an assault lance. So effectively it's a best of 3, and that best of 3 will determine what happens next in terms of the status of the planet and all that kind of thing, which could potentially change hands. But it looks so far like the defenders have defended quite successfully here. So congratulations to COD on his victory, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one.